Hello everyone, this is Garrett and this is Gothic for the PC, which Nicki wanted me to record, so yeah, now I'm going to do so. Haha! So, yes, this is Gothic 1, which I'm gonna have to admit I've never actually played. The only Gothic game I've actually played is Gothic 4, and I actually kind of like that one, but apparently it's horrible, according to the internet, and the internet is never wrong, so, yes, I will blindly trust everything the internet says about it. And, yeah, I'm just gonna play the game. I did read up a little bit about it because I was a little bit confused about the controls at first. But I'll do my best to explain why I was a little bit confused about the controls once we actually start playing the game. But for now, let's just start a new game. After this loading screen, which is followed by a cutscene.
The kingdom of Murtana, united by King Robar II. During the long years of his reign, he was able to defeat all foes of his realm. All except one. The war against the orcs took its toll, and the prisoners of the realm were to pay the price. The king needed swords for his army, and every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Khorinis. To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out the best magicians of the kingdom to create a magic barrier around the entire valley. I was one of them. Something disturbed the delicate structure of magic. We were trapped inside our own barrier. 1 second of negligence was enough for the prisoners. Khorinis was now under the control of the convicts. The king had no choice. He had to negotiate. He needed the ore. Month after month, the king supplied everything the prisoners needed. Month after month, they brought the ore to the edge of the barrier in exchange. Until the present day. Another convict was brought to the cliff. He did not know, but he would change everything.
In the name of King Robar II, bearer of the scepter of Verant, I sentence this convict to...
Stop. Convict. I've got an offer to make you. This letter must reach the leader of the Magicians of Fire.
You're wasting your time.
You may choose your own reward. They'll give you anything you ask for.
Very well. I'll take your letter. On one condition. Spare me the rest of his nonsense.
How dare you?
Keep silent. Right. Send him in.
Welcome to the colony.
That's enough. Leave him alone. And now scram. Get up. I'm Diego. I'm not interested in who you are. You've just arrived. I look after the new arrivals. That's all for now. If you plan to stay alive for a while, you should talk to me. But of course, I won't keep you from choosing your own destruction. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, we're now inside the evil, bubble, which is, kind of bad. So let's talk to this Diego person. And maybe one day we'll find out what her name really is. But probably not.
Okay, what do I need to know about this place?
We call it the colony. You'll know already that we produce ore for the king. Well, at least we do, in the old camp. There are 3 camps within the barrier. The old camp is the biggest, and it was the first.
How do I get to the old camp?
You just follow this path. The old camp is the next reasonably safe-looking place you'll come across. There are a lot of wild beasts between the camps. You'd be mad to walk around without a weapon.
I'd be mad.
Where do I get a weapon?
When you get to the old mine, have a look around. I'm sure you'll find something useful. The mine is easy to find. It's just a few meters along the canyon.
Just walk forward on the only path in the game. Yes.
Why did you help me?
Because you needed help. Otherwise, Bullet and his boys might have killed you. And I couldn't just stand by and watch, because I came all this way to make a suggestion.
A suggestion?
Yes. After this little incident with Bullet and his guys, you should be aware now that you need protection. Everyone who arrives here has a choice. There are 3 camps in the colony, and you'll have to join one of them. I'm here to show the new ones that the old camp is the best place for them.
Yes.
Where's Bullet now?
He and the others bring the goods from the outside world into the camp. You'll find him there. But if you plan to fight him, be careful. He's an experienced warrior.
I have a letter for the High Magician of the Circle of Fire.
Really?
I was given it by a mage shortly before they threw me in here.
You're lucky I can't afford to show my face around the mages anymore. Anyone else would gladly slit your throat for that letter. That's because the mages pay their couriers a lot, and most people here don't have anything. If I were you, I'd shut up until I met one of the mages. Although in your situation, that's not likely to happen.
Why not?
The mages are in the castle in the old camp. Only Gomez's people are allowed to enter the castle.
Who's Gomez?
Gomez is the most powerful ore baron. He's the boss of the old camp, the most powerful man in the colony.
Let's assume I want to join his people. What do I need to do?
At the gate of the castle, you'll find a man called Thoris. Tell him Diego sent you.
Thanks for your help.
We'll meet in the old camp.
And so our journey begins. Now, basically, it probably would be a good idea to follow him because he is much stronger than I am. In fact, I am really weak right now, and he can basically kill everything for us that's on the way there. But that would just be silly, wouldn't it? Instead, let's walk around a little bit and explain the controls because they are a little bit different. Basically, strafing is a bit weird in this game. It basically only really works if there is an enemy, so you can strafe around him. But if there's no enemy, you'll basically just do this little move over here. And yeah, that takes some getting used to because it basically means you have to walk without strafing ever, and I kind of strafe a lot when I play games. So yeah, takes some getting used to. Along with getting used to things is picking up items, because you can see this torch here, and to pick it up you have to hold left control and press forward, which will have you pick it up. And that's basically the way you use things in the game, if I understand correctly. And yeah, it's different. I'm just gonna go with different because it's different. And the interesting thing about Diego, I think that's actually just a character who appears in every single Gothic game, and yeah, he's awesome, basically. That's all I'm gonna say about Diego, at least from what I know so far. And yeah, things generally kind of glow a little bit when you can use them. I don't think I can use these no, I don't think I can use them. Maybe I can use a torch on them or something, I'm not really sure. But whatever, let's just go on our way. And another thing you should know, that in this area, you can kind of run outside that bubble thing, but you'll have that blue fire going on top of you for a while. And if you stay outside that bubble for long enough, you'll basically just get hit by lightning and die. So wouldn't really recommend doing that. But then again, I also wouldn't really recommend wasting so much time here that you can... that by then, yeah, that Diego's gone and you have to fight everything yourself. But what do I know, right? Also, space is jump when you run, and that is the most amazing jumping animation ever. If I have to be honest, it is just fantastic in my opinion. Even if you don't jump, even if you just kind of go forward, yeah. And if you press space while standing still, you go into fighting mode. And to fight, you have to hold control and then press the movement keys to do certain moves or block or parry and stuff like that. If you actually fight an enemy and you press left and right, you will actually do different moves as well, which is pretty neat. Oh, and in fighting mode you can't actually strafe. I thought you had to actually see an enemy, but apparently not, which is kind of good. And one more thing, if I understand correctly, is that if you fall off a cliff you'll die, but if you hold the strafing button then you won't, which is a bit weird. I don't really know what that's all about, but I guess you just kind of survive that way, which is kind of interesting to know. And another interesting thing to know, which I'm just going to keep on going on about these things rather than just continue playing the game, is I'm actually playing a slightly modded version of the game, because the normal version of this game actually limits the frame rate to 20 frames per second, and I don't like 20 frames per second, and yeah, that's basically just a lot of mods for this game, and one is one that removes the frame limit, so yeah, I would really recommend playing with that. Anyway, to climb this ladder, hold control and press forward or backwards to go up and down, and it is all very, very exciting. I think if I let go of control while on the ladder... Oh no, I actually just climb. I think sometimes you jump down as well, which is a bit weird. But let's talk to this god by pressing Alt and forward and control, and there we go. What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Making sure no one gets near the exchange place, especially one of those cutthroats from the new camp. You're the new guy they chucked in today, right?
That's me.
Then you'd better watch out for the guys from the new camp. I work for the old camp, same as the others you saw at the exchange place. I assume you've talked to Diego.
Yes, I have.
Good. Then you know what's what around here.
Why do I have to watch out for the guys from the new camp?
Compared to the new camp, the old camp's a quiet, peaceful sort of place. The new camp doesn't get any deliveries from the outside world. Most of the rogues there just steal whatever they need.
And the old camp?
The ore barons have everything under control. Next in line to them are the guards, followed by the shadows. The diggers are the lowest. Everyone who arrives here starts out as a digger. If you want to become something better than that, you'll have to get accepted as a shadow first.
When I was washed ashore, one of the guys punched me in the face.
They do that to all the newcomers. They call it standing godfather.
Oh, are all the guys like that in the old camp?
We do have a few suckers, but they won't touch you as long as you pay them protection money.
I saw a woman being sent down with the goods.
Yeah, the ore barons get everything they want.
Do you mean to say the king exchanges women for ore?
They're convicted criminals too, of course. But if Gomez hadn't asked for them, they'd be sitting in some dungeon or other. I'm not sure what's worse.
I'm looking for a weapon.
There should be some old weapons by the derelict mine, further down the canyon. But don't go and start a war with nothing but a rusty pickaxe for a weapon. Those things are slow and heavy. An inexperienced fighter should never use one of them, unless it's an emergency. You'd better make sure you reach the old camp in one piece.
Yeah, lots of talking going on, and lots of dialogue. I like dialogue, personally. I don't know if this god really has anything interesting to say. Probably not, because he's just called God.
How's it going?
Good. None of the rogues from the new camp are to be seen anywhere.
He seems to be kind of in a hurry. How are you doing? Good, I'm doing great. Go away. Rah! But, yeah. That's just my take on the whole thing. But, yeah. Gothic. It's basically an RPG, as you may have noticed. And, you could jump that. That looks a little bit weird, but oh well. But now, we are going to face our first enemy. And it's it's a blueberry. Blueberry, yum yum yum. Control forward. But a meat bug. Let's punch it in the face. I won. Yes. Let's kill that one too, because they do give experience in this game, which is kind of nice. But they are a little bit tedious to hit because they run away, and I don't really like that. And, yeah, you can basically loot them by pressing, well, control and forward, just like everything else in the game. And then you can see what kind of items they have, like the bug meat, which I believe you can pick up by just, no, not pressing, oh, I'm so confused by these controls. By pressing control and then to the right to go put it in your own inventory. And let's go to the other meat box as well. Put some meat in our bone bag. I wonder if we can actually do anything. Yes, we can eat it just to get some extra life, which is kind of nice. I think I picked up those blueberries as well. There's a skull here, the skeleton. We should run away from the skeleton. It seems dangerous. But, yes. Just gonna jump around a little bit more because I love that animation. But, yeah. Basically, we are completely unarmed right now. But, as they said, there is a weapon somewhere near these old mines of a hell. But there's also a chest over here, which if you hold control, you sit down in front of it, then hold forward to open the chest, and then you press control to the right to pick up all the nice items, and then you press tab, and then you press backwards to close the chest. I love these controls, but they really do take some getting used to, and that's actually a thing they removed from Gothic 4, all these weird controls, and I think it was actually one of the main complaints from fans of the series, that they actually just simplified everything and made it into a pretty simple action RPG type thing. And, well, personally, I didn't really mind, because these controls, I can imagine why they would do that. I'm just going to leave it at that. But there's a rusty pickaxe over here, and this rusty pickaxe is now mine, so we go around looking for the weapons. Yes, and there's an arrow, but you can't use it yet because we don't have a bow. But if you hold control and press forward, we now have this selected, and we can use this thing and just swipe around with it like a maniac. Oh yes, swipe, swipe, swipe. And in this game, another thing that I think they actually removed in Gothic 4 was that if you take out your weapon while standing in front of friendly people, they will basically go, please stop holding that weapon out in front of our face, or we will punch you until you stop holding that weapon out in front of your face. Because, yeah, they generally don't really approve of you trying to harm them. Which is understandable, really. And, anyway, here's the first real enemy. I mean, the meat bugs were really just there to, yeah, they were just meat, to be honest. So, we punched them in the face repeatedly. Ow. And I think if I hold down like this, then you parry an attack. Oh. Or I think it just blocks every single physical attack. But if you stand like this for too long, you'll be vulnerable for a slight second, and that's kind of a bother. So make sure that doesn't happen, or else you'll be a sad Billy, and that would be sad. Also, rusty sword. So now we once again go into our inventory, go to the rusty sword, and we can see that it's slightly more powerful because the damage is slightly higher, but you do need a higher well, actually, you need the same required strength. So I would say a little bit better. And I think you swing it around pretty much the same way as the pickaxe, but you know, it's a little bit better. And then it's a sword. I like swords. Oh my god, I love this animation. Half the game is just going to be me jumping around like an idiot. That's actually there's an achievement in Gothic 4 to jump 1,000 times. So the first part of the game, I just jumped around like a maniac all the time. It was so much fun, but not really what the game was about. So yeah, oh, didn't mean to jump there because you can't take falling damage, and it's kind of scary and stuff. But yes, let's move on. Let's try to make our way to the old camp. Although I won't be playing for much longer because I don't have too much time. I just wanted to make a little start on this game because it'll look quite fun, and I like fun things, and it's known to be quite fun. I believe that, yeah, there's actually a different enemy we haven't seen yet before. I believe they're called scavengers, which also seem to be kind of a recurring enemy in the Gothic series, if I understand correctly. But it's also a recurring thing for me when playing Gothic, well, any Gothic game so far, which is 1 in 4, to pick up absolutely every bloody thing I can see, because I like things, and, well, you kind of have a lot of inventory space. So, yes. Let's pick up as many things as we can find. Pick up this old sword, pick up these strawberries, pick up the blueberries. Those are all blueberries. There are no strawberries there. That's not important. Yeah, this is the one which requires more strength to hold this old sword, probably. Apparently it's less heavy, or heavier than a rusty sword, but I believe I have the capability to hold these things, because when I press C, you can see a ridiculously large amount of statistics. Which is kind of scary at first, but let's ignore those and just go to that enemy. Now guess, for those who haven't played this game, what sound does that enemy make? Because you are never going to believe it. But I do love the really generic sound effects in this game, which I actually quite like because I kind of like those sound effects. I'm weird like that. Yes. Yes. And yes again. Apparently that's a chicken. But, die, scavenger. Take my clunky fighting style, which is just mashing control and forward the entire time. What is this? Apparently if you hold control and press forward over something that can't be picked up, he shrugs. And I'm going to be shrugging for the next 5 minutes. Actually, that's a lie. I should continue because I believe there was another scavenger on our way. And how that... Ooh, look at that. That must have... Oh, lens flare! Sort of. That's not really lens flare. That's just really bright. But, yeah. This guy must have been hanging here for quite a while. I wonder how strong that rope is, that it's so strong to keep him hanging there until he's turned into a skeleton. Or maybe they just hung a skeleton there. Maybe they just found a skeleton and thought, hey, let's hang it. That sounds like a pretty good idea. Let's kill this giant evil chicken bastard machine. Swing it! Ow! That was terrible. I got hit by a chicken. Why, chicken, do you hurt me? I wonder if I can actually eat that meat. Yes, life bonus 10. Nom nom nom. Raw meat, delicious. That don't backfire ever. I wonder if you can actually get poisoned in this game from eating raw meat. It doesn't really seem like the best idea, if you ask me. So, yes. But let's make our way forward. Also, for those that are wondering why I'm not playing Titan Quest right now, which I should probably explain, and yeah. I kinda broke my save file for that game. So I'm just gonna play this until I get that fixed, and by get that fixed I basically just mean play through the game off camera again. But that might take a while because I'm very lazy. But once I get that fixed, I will continue with the later difficulty of that. But until then, I'm just gonna play this game because I feel like playing an RPG. Let's see. But for now, it wasn't really clever. I'm just gonna see what's over here. Supposedly, exploring in this part of the game is pretty much a horrible idea. Because just about everything can kill you really quite quickly. In fact, I think I'll keep that for later. I think I'm just gonna follow the path and do the jumping animation a little bit more. Hello, Ralford and Drax. How are you? Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm not listening.
Hey, you.
Hey,
What do you want? I want to warn you. If you continue this way, you'll be entering our hunting ground.
Entering your hunting ground?
What do you hunt?
Mostly scavengers. There's a lot of meat on them. Besides, it ain't too hard to get them. Once you know how.
Really? How's that?
Ask my friend Drax here. He knows more about these things than anyone.
I heard a good way to get them is by running up to them and punching them in the face. Worked for me in the past, you should try it yourself sometime.
Why is this area so dangerous?
You've just arrived, haven't you? There are different areas in this colony which are all more or less dangerous. The paths between the camps are quite safe, but even there you might come across some wolves which look on you as easy prey. And that's exactly what you are until you get a proper weapon and armor.
Well then I guess we've gotta get some better equipment, but where can I get that?
Where can I get better equipment?
The nearest place is that old camp. Just follow the path that brought you here. But you can get the stuff cheaper in our new camp, provided you know the right people. If you go to the old camp, ask for Mordrag. He's one of us. For just a little ore, he'll sell you the proper goods.
Don't worry, I got one blue ore. That ought to be enough to go.
Tell me more about the areas of the colony.
If you travel between the camps, you'll need a map to distinguish paths and dead ends. Dead ends often lead you to dangerous canyons where you encounter creatures you'd better avoid. Do not enter the old ruins. There are too many around here, and most of them are old fortifications dating back to the time of the First Orc War. Some are abandoned orc dwellings. There are often orcs in those ruins, or even worse creatures. I'd avoid those places, especially at night. And one more hint, don't go into the forest.
There be bad things in the forest.
Where do I get a map?
Ask the people in the old camp. There's a cartographer living there. Maybe you can steal one of his maps. If you manage to do it, take one from me as well.
Why? Doesn't he sell the maps?
If you get enough ore to pay for them.
Thanks for your help.
Don't go thinking everyone's gonna be so friendly, kid. There may not be much in a newcomer's pockets, but some folks would even beat you up for a pickaxe.
I'll keep it in mind.
Well, I got a pickaxe for them right here. Hey, Drax, I heard you know something about guards.
You're hunting, aren't you?
Looks like it. What do you want?
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do, to start with. Then we'll see.
Don't worry, I found some beer at a random location. Seems safe.
Here you are. Take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Gulp.
Scavengers. That's what we call the big birds. Should be attacked one after the other. It's easy to lure single scavengers from the pack. If you come too close, they'll become irritated. After a while, they'll storm in your direction. At this point, you should be waiting for them with a raised weapon. If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
I gave you one beer for that advice, matey. Well, I'm never giving you anything again, I say.
What else can you tell me about hunting?
A lot, but it'll cost you more than a beer. If you know how, you can take the creature's teeth, claws, and skin. It's hard to get them, but they are valuable. At least every merchant will trade those things with you.
That's a lot of ore. I think I'll just, find out myself. Actually, I probably won't. I'm probably gonna talk to him eventually. But first, I'm just gonna kill some guys. Get some more. Kill the scavenger with my newfound knowledge. Die! I heard that punching you over and over works really well. And he was correct. He was entirely correct. And now, I can get some meat. Yummy. But I do believe I saw another scavenger. And I'm guessing this is the path to the forest, which I probably shouldn't take. Because badness is truly waiting to happen there. Oh no, there's two scavengers here. And some sort of bee thing. Oh god, they're coming after me. Oh. Apparently they don't really mind me that much when I just walk back a few steps. Hello! Oh crap, I'm taking damage. And I died. Well, I think that's a pretty good way to end off our first part, isn't it? Yes, I died. A chicken is currently eating me. And, yeah, once we get back, I'll just be, like, in front of those two gods over there. So I hope you enjoyed it so far. And I will see you next time where I'll magically be alive again and at the same location. Bye-bye.